look into a crystal ball of bowl possibilities. All that and more coming up next. Michigan Replay with Lloyd Carr is brought to you in part by Pepsi. It's the Cola. By Chevrolet. Chevy drives the Motor City. See your Detroit area Chevy dealers today or log on to DetroitAreaChevyDealers.com. By LaSalle Bank. Proud to support the University of Michigan football program. LaSalle Bank, making more possible. And by Big Boy Restaurants. Big Boy makes you say, oh boy. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Michigan Replay, and happy holidays. We hope all of you had a great Thanksgiving. And, Coach, on Thanksgiving, since it was the holiday time, I thought I'd come dressed a little more casual with the mock turtle. And
I like it, Jim.
You crossed me
You're
up.
You're a fashion statement.
Yeah, right. Well, you crossed me up by coming in a tie. And normally when we do a show after Thanksgiving, you come up dressed like this.
Well, I was hoping to show you up. It's
well,
hard
you
to
did.
do, though.
You did.
It's hard to do, though.
Did you have a good holiday?
Yeah, we had a great holiday. Gave thanks for all the blessings, family, friends, and this football team we had at Michigan this year.
Yeah, and that's this is the time of year to do that. And this football team at Michigan, you need to give thanks to this team because they fought like warriors. Even though, like I said, the last week the Ohio State loss still hurts. Boy, they played hard through a lot of adversity.
Well, they never stopped fighting, and you know, it's that kind of test that I think the game of football presents, and they met all the challenges.
And it's one of those things that you talk about the benefits of collegiate athletics or a game. It's one of those life lessons that you learn. You know, that things don't always go your way, but you still got to fight through them. And ultimately, at the end of the day, you're going to be better for it.
Well, at the end of the day, you need to win. That's really the tradition of Michigan football. But certainly, we can all, I think as coaches, be proud of these players, what they did, the way they continue to fight, the number of guys who stepped up that were young or inexperienced, filling backup roles. And we had some great moments. We had some great wins, and we had some great finishes, and some of them didn't end up in our favor. But there was never any lack of effort, lack of putting everything they had into it.
All right, let's take a look at the season as we go through, because it was quite a season. You opened the year way back in September against Northern Illinois. Here's a big play. Mike Hart goes 34 yards on a screen pass.
Well, Mike made a great play there on the sideline, ran over a defender. And this Northern Illinois team had a wonderful year, bowl bound.
And this is them in the second quarter. You're leading 14-10, and or rather 14-3. And here this Wolf goes the distance on you.
Well, for a long time, Jim, he led the nation in rushing, and before being injured, I don't know how he ended up the season, but a great football player.
That had you on the lead 14-10, and then later on in the game, the second quarter, Mike Hart goes in from 2 yards out, and that gives you the 20-10 lead, and you go ahead and win it 33-17.
Well, it was a good start for us because Northern Illinois ran the football on us effectively, and we made some improvements in the next game here against Notre Dame.
And this may be kind of indicative of the way the year went. Pass that was going to be incomplete hits a hand and bounces 90 degrees into their hands.
Well, you know, sometimes the breaks aren't with you. And here late in the game, when we need a big play to have a chance to send the game into overtime, Mario Manningham, a young freshman from Warren, Ohio, makes a big catch, and then we get the ball with a chance to go in and tie it up and can't do anything at the end of the game. We had plenty of time, we just came up short.
Next game against Eastern Michigan. Great play here by Chad Henne. This is early, puts you up 21-0.
Well, this game came at the right time for us. We had an opportunity to play some young players to gain them some experience. Here, Brian Thompson catches a ball, his first touchdown pass at Michigan.
And the defense plays well. They get the shutout. The final's 55-0. And here's an interception as Eastern just couldn't get anything in.
Well, Morgan Trent getting an opportunity to move him from wide receiver last spring, and he did some very good things this fall.
Next game at Wisconsin. This is one of those games that comes right down to the wire. Here you go early. You get the 10-0 lead on the pass to Avant.
Well, we had the lead, and at the end of the half, we had an opportunity to do something with it. We couldn't get in the end zone, had to settle for a field goal. And then In the second half, Wisconsin ran the football. Calhoun, one of the leading rushers in the nation, had a big second half, scoring a touchdown there to give them the lead.
Then you get the flea flicker and you hit Manningham. This gets you the lead with 9 minutes left.
Well, we needed a big play, and again, Chad Henne came up with a great throw, and Manningham got deep behind him, and now we got the lead. We got to hold them to win. And on third down, with the clock winding down, John Stocco runs a quarterback draw in for the win. 23-20 the final. That one. Next week, very tough game. You go to East Lansing, and you jump on them early, 14-0. Well, we came out throwing the football, and Mike Hart returned after missing the previous 3 games, and had a big day for us. Here he's ripping off a big run down inside the red zone to help us take the lead in this game. Yeah, it gives you a 31-24 lead moments later. But here, again, referee call goes against you. They rule this a fumble, not an incomplete pass, and it's returned for a touchdown by Michigan State to tie it up. Well, Jim, we can only be thankful in that situation that it didn't cost us a game, because certainly it was a pass according to the college rule, but this Pico made one of the most exciting plays of the Big Ten season. Then in overtime, they missed their field goal, and Garrett Rivas, who could have won it in regulation, comes back and hits one in overtime to win. Well, it was a great ending for a team that had suffered an opening loss Big Ten game to Wisconsin to go into Spartan Stadium and come out with a great victory. 34-31, and that was one of those, I thought, key games in the season, on the road against a tough team, and they had not lost when you played that game. Well, Jim, it was one of those games where if you lose that early twice, you're going to be out of the Big Ten race. So when you lose the opener, you got to win, and you got to particularly win on the road. All right, when we come back, we'll take a look at the second half of the season where the Wolverines really picked it up and made a great run to the finish. That's coming up next right here on Michigan Replay. Seeing one of the great scenes in the second half of the season, Michigan's great win late against Penn State. But you head into the second half of the season after a big win on the road at Michigan State, and you get Minnesota at home, and it's one of those games, again, that's so close and yet so far away. Well, Jim, I think we did not play like we wanted to play in the Minnesota game, certainly. And at the end of the game, we had some opportunities. We had a lot of opportunities, and as always happens in these close games, missed opportunities came back to haunt us. But here, in the second half, with the score tied 13-13, Steve Breston makes a big play when we need it the most, and we take a 20-13 lead. And then this is just the most devastating of all. They're going to run the clock out, and you make a mistake here with the score tied at 20 and under a minute left. Well, a play that when you make a mistake at that time of the game, you don't have any chance to recover, and that really proves the old adage that you got to play the last play of the game, and we didn't do that in this game, and Minnesota won the Little Brown Jug. The final was 23-20. Then you come back again with a very emotional game against one of the top 10 ranked teams in the country in Penn State. And you're get into a problem here where you had the lead, and all of a sudden Penn State gets 2 quick scores, including this strip, steal, and touchdown. Well, it was 3-0 at the half, if you remember. Yep. We took a 10-3 lead in the third quarter, and then Penn State tied it up, and then hit this play to take the lead, make a 2-point conversion off of a muff field goal or extra point attempt, and now we put together, I think, maybe the most important drive of the year for us, and answer their touchdown with a touchdown of our own and a 2-point conversion to tie the game 18-18. Right, so late in the game then, you're leading 21-18. They come back, and this is with less than a minute left, and take the lead 25-21. Well, we saw that quarterback draw, and we took one wrong step there. And they take the lead, 52 seconds left in the game, and we go down, put a great drive together offensively, and Chad Henne gets good protection, makes a great throw, we win a great game at home when we need it.
27-25 is the final. With 1 second left, you get that touchdown. Here in Iowa City, tough place to win. You get a big play here from Steve Breaston.
Well, one of the biggest plays of the year, great blocking, an excellent throw by Chad, a great blocking by Tab, and Avon at the wide receiver position, and Breaston makes a great run. And we score, and Iowa scored late to send it into overtime.
You're in overtime on the road. They get a field goal to go ahead, but your possession, you get the touchdown from Jerome Jackson.
Well, Jason Avon made one of the memorable catches to give us a first down on the 5, and then, of course, who'll ever forget Jerome Jackson, the lift he gave our football team, and came in that game and scored the winning touchdown.
Here you are, night game against Northwestern, and you jump to a 14-0 lead on this play.
Well, Leon Hall, he had a wonderful season. I think just an outstanding year. Forces a fumble, picks it up, and gives us a 2-score lead in the opening quarter at Northwestern.
Late in the second quarter, you're leading by a touchdown. You get another one here, and that puts you up 24-10. But just before the half, they score to get them back in.
Well, we gave up too many big plays this year, and certainly with the lead, the command of the ball game, late in the first half, 11 seconds to go, we give up a big play, which really puts Northwestern back in the ball game.
But in the second half, you shut them out, and that's unheard of against Northwestern.
Well, Sean Cravel was one of those guys that got off to a slow start, but he certainly finished strong and had a big second half of the season for us.
You beat the Wildcats 33-17, then you come back home, play Indiana, and this is where the return game really helps you by Steve Breaston.
Well, 5 of our touchdowns, Jim, started on our side, on their side of the 50-yard line. Most of those as a result of great kick returns by Steve Breaston.
This touchdown to Ecker gives you a 7-7 game, and then you just take off from there.